Hey guys, it is prototype time again as we take a look at this custom Alan Scott Green Lantern. I've got all the pieces already unboxed here on the table. There are quite a few switch outs. I have the base right here. We have two different cape options. We have some different shoulder pad options, two portraits, two different sword options, and a few different arms. So this one comes with an AC adapter for the light up, so we don't need any batteries, which is cool. However, you're gonna need a place to plug this in. So a little story about this piece is that it is currently up for PO. They're looking for enough people so they can actually make this. So if you like what you see and you're interested in this piece, make sure to let me know. I will send you the information so you can get on the list, but let's go ahead and put this thing together. So here we have the base. As you can see, it is a pretty low profile base. So the main part is this Statue of Liberty tablet. So here we have the 4th of July for the Declaration of Independence. We have the statue's hand on the back here, all the little structural parts on the inside. I did have a few little breaks when this thing arrived, and that's because it was shipped in the prototype foam and not the production foam, which is usually much better. It seems like a very sturdy base. For not being very deep. This middle section here is really solid and it does have some really good weight to it. So here is a look at the body. The legs and torso are all intact. We just need to add his head and arms. Right here on the arm we have the little plug for the electricity to flow through on both sides, and that way they can make it down to his hand where the lights are. This one keys in on 1 foot, very large key and 2 pegs, and it just keys in right here on the top. It's feeling pretty sturdy there. So here's what it looks like from the side. I'll go ahead and put one arm in first. Just line up the plug. So we need to stick the sword in through one hand like this. There is a little piece here to put at the end, and then we need to put this hand through. Just like that, and then we key it in and plug in that other arm. Here is a look at the two portraits. As you can see, they are almost identical. The only difference is one is looking up while the other one is looking straight on. As far as features go, they look pretty much the same. He's got the blue eyes, the little green mask. The details in the sculpt look really good. We can see all the little wrinkles, everything that makes this guy an old guy. He's got the receding hairline, all the gray hairs, very chiseled cheekbones and jawline, and some nice texturing too on that skin. Got some wrinkles there, folds in the skin on the back of his neck. So here is the first portrait with him looking kind of forward. Then we need the cape. This cape is sort of up and billowing behind him. The other one is more down as he is flying upwards. Pretty cool cape, and this cape is pretty heavy as well. Very small base for having such a heavy cape. There are 2 keys here, 1 very long peg. The green side is the underside. This is a little bit tricky just because I don't want to push too hard on him because he's only there on 1 foot. And I'm going to move it around to this side so I can see it. It just goes in like that. So that's in there pretty good. The cape makes it a lot taller than I had thought. I'm going to move the camera up just a tad. Cape kind of fits in a little bit better now. But look at that. It sort of looks like angel wings. All right, and then we need to add his little armor shoulder pads. There are different keys for each of them. I believe they only fit one way, so once you find the right one, that's the one you use. All right, so there he is. That's the completed look number 1. So this is from the Kingdom Come storyline. It takes place in a dystopian future. Here we have Alan Scott, the first Green Lantern, and he's older here. He actually integrated his lantern into this armor, which basically creates a self-renewing power source. And because he has this armor, sometimes he's referred to as the Green Knight. It does look quite medieval. It's based on the artwork of Alex Ross, and it looks just as splendid here in 3-dimensional form as it did in his 2D paintings. We have the fallen Statue of Liberty base, which is part of the storyline. Obviously, the Statue of Liberty has kind of crumbled to the ground, We have the bluish aged patina coloring that the Statue of Liberty is known for. I actually recently went to the Statue of Liberty for the first time, and kind of sad to see it destroyed here. I believe it might be a little underscaled for space saving sake, as the real tablet is much larger, but I think it's definitely a good storytelling element. For such a small base, it does have to support a pretty good deal of weight. The paint looks really cool. It has that pearlescent effect with all the multi-colors in there, kind of shimmers in the light. He's got some intricate designs on the sides of his boots, some metal that kind of wraps around to the knee pads, and then this layered knight armor on his upper thighs. Same thing on the upper part of his body. We have those same details on the bottom here. He's got the gold belt, the big shoulder pads. Overall, looks really good. I really like the color gradation when light hits it. Sometimes it looks a little bit gold, sometimes it looks a little bit green. Here he's holding his big green sword. Looks like it does in the comic books. So his portrait looks good. I mean, he's an old guy. The cape looks pretty awesome. You have the green underside and kind of this matte black finish on the back, the same black that we have here on the front. And the sculpt on it is just crazy. Again, proof that if you want a dynamic cape, you're not limited to mixed media. You can definitely get a very dynamic sculpted cape. So before I assemble the switch outs, let's go ahead and try out the light effect here. The plug for the AC adapter is right here on the bottom. It doesn't come with a very long cord, so you're gonna need probably an extension cord. You can also hook this thing up to some kind of big portable battery if you don't have outlets. There's no on and off switch, so you'll have to have a switch at the outlet, but once you plug it in, you get these awesome light up hands. Can't really see it unless I turn off the lights, which I will do right now. So now you can see that the lights on the inside of the hands kind of illuminate this transparent sword. I don't really use light ups all that much, but you know, if I had this connected to the lights on my display cabinet, you can have everything kind of turn on and turn off all at once, which is really cool. One of the reasons why I never use light ups is because usually you have to kind of take off the part, turn it on, put it back, and you have to do that for multiple parts. But here, everything is connected. It could be easy as flipping a switch, hitting a button on your app, and turning this whole thing on all at once. So let's go ahead and try out option number 2. All right, so for option number 2, he is actually flying up towards the heavens. He actually lives on a space station where he waits for aliens to come. So let's go ahead and we'll remove all these pieces. Let's remove the big cape. You know, anytime something fits really well, sometimes it's a little tricky to get off. So we're gonna support his body, kind of just wiggle it out, and came out pretty easily. Let's go ahead and take these arms out because the arms change as well. Now this cape right here is actually heavier than that one. I think it's just a lot more dense. We have all the cloth kind of bundled up there, and possibly for engineering reasons, they needed this one to be heavier. So we're gonna stick this one on with those arms. Mind you, these arms aren't supposed to go with this cape. We're gonna just do it to see how it looks. Fits in similarly to the other one. As you can see, it does go back a little bit, so it does create kind of that counterbalance effect with the body. And then we have the portrait where he is staring upwards. All right, so there you go. So here's an option with him kind of flying upwards, holding the sword in front of him. I guess it kind of works, but really wasn't meant to go with this option. So let's see if the other arms work a little bit better. We have this arm with him holding the sword already. You can't see the end of the hilt there because his hand is going to be facing downward like this. And this one actually arrived broken. I did glue it back together, but in case you're wondering why there's a little hairline crack, that's why. All right, so his arm kind of goes like that. And then finally we need to add these shoulder plates to this version. Like that.
Houston, we have a problem.
It's like a smaller keyhole on this shoulder pad, but I don't see any key that will fit. All right, so this one fits on this side. And this one should fit on this side, but the key on this is too small. This one also doesn't appear to have a magnet in it, so that poses a problem in itself. But you know, with prototypes, sometimes these things happen. So that's kind of what this option will look like. I think it looks pretty cool. Looks like he's flying upwards. He's got the big sword in his left hand, kind of like he was standing on this tablet and now he is taken off. I think I like the dynamics of that other cape. It's just very unique. This one is pretty cool too. If you look at it from the profile, you really get that sense of motion with the cape kind of being stretched out like that. So let's go ahead and try out the light up for this one. There you go. This one, the light even seems even brighter. It looks a little funny because you can actually see that crack in his hand from the big light that's inside of it. But I like this pose as well. It's nice that you have two different options, one with him landing, one with him taking off. So depending on where you decide to put this guy, one might look a little bit better than the other. Sometimes the flying statues look great on lower displays, and that way you can see the character's face. Other times it's nice to have them high up because it looks like they're actually flying in the air. Or you can just put them somewhere in the middle, and that way you get the best of both worlds. Pretty cool Alex Ross, Alan Scott, Green Lantern. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Again, if you're interested in this statue and you want to be on the pre-order list, make sure to let me know and I will send you in the right direction. As always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.